Hello, Watchlisters. Today we're diving deep into the murky world of government secrets. Get ready to have your mind blown as we unveil 5 government conspiracy theories that were actually proven to be true. Buckle up, folks, because this is going to be a wild ride. Number 1. MK Ultra. Mind control madness.
I was given a glass of Kool-Aid, and so were the other children. This Kool-Aid was spiked with LSD. It was horrible.
Our first mind-boggling revelation takes us straight into the realm of mind control. Enter MK Ultra, a top-secret CIA project that aimed to manipulate human behavior. This covert operation involved experiments on unwitting subjects, including the use of drugs, hypnosis, and psychological torture.
It was the most secret program ever conducted by the CIA in the United States. Patients at psychiatric hospitals, prisoners in federal institutions, and even people in the public were given drugs without their awareness or consent and experimented upon. They established what were called safe houses, where prostitutes would lure men to these apartments. And then once the men were in the apartments, they were dosed with LSD. And then they were basically studied by CIA scientists, usually behind a two-way mirror.
Page Russell shock treatment is approximately 40 to 75 times the strength of a normal shock treatment. So it's really designed to wipe out the memory.
He received 54 high voltage shock treatments, followed by 54 grand mal seizures.
After 27 days of this, they said that they were discouraged because he still had ties to his former life, in that he was asking to see his wife. They decided to give him more Page Russell shock treatments and put him to sleep for another 30 days.
The whole thing was basically discovered because of a whistleblower named John Marks, who wrote the first book really about the program called The Search for the Manchurian Candidate. There were congressional hearings here in the United States in the mid-70s after it had been exposed. And during those hearings, the CIA finally admitted that this program existed. They admitted that it was probably not the right thing to do, but they feigned innocence. You know, the CIA knew that it was breaking, every moral, ethical, and legal law in the books to do these experiments.
They all were behind it. They all knew what they were doing, but they weren't doing it out of care or love. They were doing it out of military and political reasons.
I am on medication now because of what happened to me when I was 16. I have not had any compensation or apology. I want everyone to know in Canada what went on in that horrible, horrible hospital.
The shocking truth behind MK Ultra was exposed, revealing the extent of the government's involvement in mind control experiments. A devastating mark has been left by the convoluted techniques, the unsuspecting targets, and the enduring consequences of this government-approved madness of mind control. Number 2. Operation Northwoods. False flags unveiled. Before we jump into the details, let's set the stage. It was the early 1960s and tensions between the United States and Cuba were at an all-time high. In the midst of the Cold War, the U.S. Department of Defense devised a top-secret plan known as Operation Northwoods. Operation Northwoods was a covert operation aimed at justifying military intervention in Cuba. The plan was developed by high-ranking officials, including members of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who sought to regain control over Cuba and eliminate what they perceived as a threat to U.S. interests. The proposed tactics were truly alarming. The plan included hijacking planes, committing bombings, and even creating false evidence to implicate Cuba. The goal was to manipulate public opinion and garner support for military intervention. However, Operation Northwoods never saw the light of day. President John F. Kennedy and his advisors ultimately rejected the plan. They had ethical concerns, feared international backlash, and understood the potential of escalation into a full-scale war. The rejection of Operation Northwoods was a significant decision that prevented a potentially catastrophic event. It preserved the integrity of the U.S. government and showcased the importance of ethical considerations in decision making. Fast forward to the early 2000s, when Operation Northwoods was declassified. Its revelations sparked renewed interest and raised questions about public trust in government and the military. It serves as a reminder of the complex and sometimes controversial strategies that have been considered in the pursuit of geopolitical objectives. So why is Operation Northwoods such a significant piece of history? Well, it sheds light on the existence of covert plans and the lengths some officials were willing to go to achieve their goals. It also raises important questions about the balance between national security and ethical considerations. Imagine if Operation Northwoods had been implemented. The world could have witnessed a series of orchestrated events that would have forever changed the course of history. It is a chilling thought. Number 3. Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment, Unethical Betrayal. Brace yourselves for a tale of betrayal and medical malpractice. The Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment, conducted by the U.S. Public Health Service, targeted African American men without their knowledge or consent. For over 40 years, these men were denied proper treatment for syphilis, even after effective remedies became available. This shocking conspiracy exposed the dark underbelly of government experimentation and raised serious ethical questions. These victim stories, the devastating consequences, and the long-lasting impact of this disturbing chapter in history need to be remembered. Number 4. Operation Paperclip, Nazi Secrets Revealed. Get ready to uncover a conspiracy that sounds like it's straight out of a spy novel. Operation Paperclip was a top-secret program that began in 1945, shortly after the end of World War II. The program was designed to bring German scientists and engineers, including those who had worked for the Nazi regime, to the United States to work on various projects, particularly in the field of military technology. The U.S. government believed that the knowledge and expertise of these scientists and engineers would be invaluable in gaining an edge in the Cold War. Many of the scientists and engineers who were brought to the U.S. had been involved in heinous human experiments and advanced weapon development during the war, which raised ethical concerns about the program. Despite these concerns, the U.S. government went to great lengths to cover up the fact that they were recruiting former Nazis. They created false identities for the scientists and engineers, and even went so far as to erase their Nazi past from their records. Once in the U.S., the scientists and engineers were put to work on various projects, including rocketry, aerospace engineering, and medicine. Some of the most notable scientists who were brought to the U.S. through Operation Paperclip include Wernher von Braun, who was instrumental in the development of the Saturn V rocket that took astronauts to the moon, and Arthur Rudolph, who was involved in the development of the V-2 rocket. While the program did lead to significant advancements in various fields, the ethical implications of recruiting former Nazis continue to be debated to this day. Some argue that the program was necessary to gain an edge in the Cold War, while others believe that it was a betrayal of American values and a stain on the country's history. If you like this video, make sure to share, click that like button, and make sure to turn on the notifications so that way you know when we post our next video. Number 5. Prism. Big Brother is watching. Our final revelation will make you question your digital footprint. PRISM was a top-secret surveillance program operated by the National Security Agency, or NSA, in the United States. The program was designed to collect vast amounts of personal information from major tech companies including Google, Facebook, and Microsoft. The program was exposed by whistleblower Edward Snowden in 2013, who revealed that the government was secretly accessing and monitoring personal information from these companies. This included emails, social media posts, and other forms of digital communication. The revelation of PRISM caused a major uproar, as it was seen as an unparalleled breach of privacy. Many people were shocked to learn that the government was collecting and monitoring their personal information without their knowledge or consent. The government defended the program, arguing that it was necessary for national security purposes.
And by the way, with respect to my concerns about privacy issues, I will leave this office at some point, sometime in the next 3.5 years. And after that, I will be a private citizen. And I suspect that, on a list of people who might be targeted, so that somebody could read their emails or listen to their phone calls, I'd probably be pretty high on that list. So it's not as if I don't have a personal interest in making sure my privacy is protected. But I know that the people who are involved in these programs, they operate like professionals. And these things are very narrowly circumscribed. They're very focused. And in the abstract, you can complain about Big Brother and how this is a potential, program run amok. But when you actually look at the details, then I think we've struck the right balance.
However, many people were skeptical of this claim, and the program faced significant criticism from civil liberty groups and privacy advocates. In the years since the program was exposed, there have been ongoing debates about the balance between national security and individual privacy. The revelations of PRISM have led to increased scrutiny of government surveillance programs and have sparked a broader conversation about the role of technology in our lives and the importance of protecting our personal information.
And how do they can't just say, oops, our bad. I mean, how do they explain why this was happening?
Well, essentially what the NSA had come up with in their own minds and in their own programs far apparently exceeded what they could do with their computers. They said that their computers just couldn't quite separate the data from Americans, the emails from Americans, from that which was supposed to be foreign.
And there you have it, folks. 5 government conspiracy theories that were actually proven to be true. These revelations remind us that truth can be stranger than fiction, and that skepticism is sometimes warranted. As we continue to uncover hidden secrets, let's remember to question, investigate, and demand transparency from those in power. Until next time, stay curious and keep seeking the truth.